Welcome to episode 9 of the Rebel Rundown. This episode, we're going to be covering our monthly updates. We'll go through some member achievements and we're going to chat to Hayley about her experience at Down Under. I've got a bunch of questions that we're going to ask her and hopefully get some interesting and good answers out of that. So that's the show for today. And Hayley's going to...
Is this a show?
Or the podcast.
You're welcome, everyone. You get to watch our show. It's our conversation for today.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sounds fun. Cool. Should we do our monthly recap to start?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sweet. You start.
You want me to kick it off? Yeah. All right. First of all, thanks to all the members that filled out our member survey. We got some really good insights out of that, and we've got some things that we're starting to plan and look to refine so that we can keep evolving and improving the member experience here at Soul Rebel. So big shout out to all you legends and also to Mel who won the prize pack in the raffle.
Yeah, and shout out to everyone who greatly appreciated our awesome videos.
Yeah.
Me and Ben were on
Such good editing.
Yeah, they were really good. The transition train. There'll be more to come. Okay. We had on the weekend, we had the second core control workshop with Dan Mason. So I think that obviously we weren't here, but from what I've heard, it was another really good one. So I think he had 14 people, so fair few more people than last time. And yeah, what did you hear about it?
Yeah, I've heard it went really well and everyone got plenty out of it, which is cool. So good opportunity to work on some things that we don't always cover in our normal like CrossFit class, but are all very relatable and all very transferable into a lot of the skills and things that we do perform.
Yeah. No, it would have been good. I need to do another one that we can actually come to. They're always when I'm away. And then last one we are wrapping up our build cycle. So we're basically 2 cycles in from like when we changed up all the training cycles. So we did base. This is the end of build, and we're about to start our perform training cycle. So it's been cool. We're sort of in the testing period right now. We're mixing a bunch of testing from the last cycle in with testing for the next cycle. So it's been cool to see members like achieve PRs on both like lifts and also like work capacity components of that cycle.
Yeah. Lots of members on Clean and Jerk Cindy got like a whole another round of like Cindy plus another like 8, 9 clean and jerk. So probably those sort of people were like a couple of minutes ahead of, you know, what they did in the first go. And overall saw some really good improvements there. People's ability to handle, you know, a fairly heavy barbell for lots of reps mixed in with, body weight work. And a lot of people saw improvements in their push-ups. So yeah, that went down well. And then, there's been lots of other just across the board, whether it's weightlifting, some of the other conditioning pieces and things. So.
And also deadlifts, bench. I know a lot of people have really enjoyed the like consistency of doing like deadlifting or bench press every single week following the training cycle, and also using it as a bit of motivation to like keep their training consistency up by showing up, and then, you know, you see your consistency pay off when you get a PR at the end of the cycle. So it's been cool. It's been very fun. And I'm excited for the perform one. Like we tested a open workout. We also did Fran. And then there was like max ring muscle ups. What else have we done for the new one?
1 rep max snatch into 5-minute AMRAP at 80% of that.
Yeah, that was good.
And there's some more tests coming up, like 20 RM back squat and bench press. Yeah. So that's a little bit
20 RM bench press, that'll be interesting.
Different. Yeah. It's going to be more of a strength endurance sort of focus as we come in through this block. So
yeah. And on that, we've had lots of pretty cool member achievements over the last month. So obviously heaps of people have hit PRs. So well done to everyone if you've hit some sort of PR in the gym. We are always super impressed by people and proud of their training and their achievements. So well done to you all. A special shout out.
Yeah, Marissa's been on fire. So she hit a 77 kilo snatch, which is a lifetime best for her and a really solid number. She also just yesterday hit a 150 back squat in the gym, which is
massive.
Really cool. So she's stoked with that. She's had several other improvements as well. And yeah, special shout out to Marissa.
Yep. And then we also had 4 members do the Nike Run Melbourne half marathon 2 weeks ago. So Byron, he ran a sub 2 hour half marathon, which was his goal that he set out at the start of the year. Well, no, he actually set out to just run a half marathon at this one, like run the whole way. But he ended up doing that much earlier in the year when he just like last minute signed up for a half marathon. So then for this one, he managed to do it sub 2 hours, which was really cool. Michael did his first half marathon. I think Chiwen, I still need to double check if this was her first half marathon.
I feel like it might be.
Yeah, she's done other long runs, but I don't think she'd done like a full half marathon yet. And then Winnie also did it and she got a PR on her time. And then we also had Genty, who competed in the like state strong men, strong woman comp. She competed in the under 82 kilo weight category and she came second, which was really cool. So she came second to like the national champ in that weight category, and it was super close. Like they were going back and forth on all the events.
Yeah.
Some
tough events in there too. All very short in strongman, but brutal.
Yeah, they looked crazy.
Heavy.
There was like one, and they were like lifting up. It looked like a trailer, so it was like on this weird angle, and they'd like do it like a deadlift, and then put it down, and they'd put all kegs in there, and then they'd do it again, and it looked awful. She said that on that one, she like lifted it up, and all her like blood vessels in her face just like burst. Brutal. Anyway, well done, Genty.
Yeah, awesome effort. And then if you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't be aware, but Hayley came second in the elite pairs at Down Under, so super awesome effort there. And that's going to segue into what we're mainly going to get into today. So, I've come up with a few different questions to try and get some cool insight. I'm going to start with a pretty easy one, which is, what was your favourite event and why?
Wait, what about this one? You skipped that whole part.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hayley's going to give us her own little general overview.
Well, if you don't know what Down Under is first. So, basically Down Under is like a CrossFit competition that is, all people from all over Australia and also New Zealand, and then they get like internationals coming too. But it's a massive competition. Like there's elites, there's RX, which is sort of just below that, and then there's intermediate teams, there's masters, there's futures. It's just like a massive comp. So it was really cool to get to be a part of it. Last year, Ben competed there as a master, and I got to go and help coach him, which was really fun, but I had like mad FOMO not being able to compete. So it was really cool this year getting to compete. And getting to compete with Daisy, who I've been training with for the last year. So that was really awesome. I'm feeling pretty good. It was definitely a different like lead up compared to, it's like a similar comp to Torian, but obviously it's pairs rather than individual. But it was a super different lead up. Like going to Torian, we were training for Torian like for months. You're training for not really for the Open, but you're training for the quarterfinals. And then from the quarterfinals for Torian, it's very like structured and focused training, whereas this was like a little bit like different. Like it wasn't as sort of structured and focused directly on Down Under, more just on like what I need to work on in general. And it was actually super interesting because I actually went into it feeling quite like fit and like, I don't know, my body felt good. So yeah, it was just different. Like, what do you think? The training leading up to it was super different compared to Torian.
So Hayley's sort of focusing a lot more on putting her energy into her strength and her skills at the minute, which is sort of the area that she can probably bring up the most. So she's focused on that. She's still doing plenty of like conditioning and CrossFit, but less of it and putting less effort and energy into that. So it is very different. But we chatted about it before, and like I think like your strength overall looked like the best it's been. You're sort of very consistently hitting good numbers, and her skills overall are definitely, the best they've been. So, she was in a really good place still to compete and put on a good performance, which she did. Different sort of preparation for sure.
It was good though. It was kind of fun to sort of see like, that like, I feel like my sort of base level of fitness and like ability has sort of risen a little bit more. So now I'm like excited to like, try and pick it up a little bit going into the actual sort of CrossFit season next year. So it was fun, but I'm feeling good. It was good fun. And I just wanted to also say thanks to everyone who like supported us over the weekend too, before we get into it too much. Like we had like a massive amount of support from everyone at the gym. You guys had the watch party, which unfortunately the live stream was not good, so you didn't actually do much watching of that event, which sucked, but everyone showed up and had a good time, and I got heaps of messages, and everyone's been super kind in the gym like this week. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everybody's support always, and yeah, I love representing you guys out there on the comp floor. It's fun.
Yeah, especially when you're doing good and winning events.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Fun.
It was just such a cool experience. All right.
Now I'll get into my questions. So yeah, what was your favourite event and why?
My favourite event was what number was it? 4? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Event 5. It was the one on Saturday night, which was the muscle ups and machine workout. So it was like 9, 7, 5, 7, 9 synchro muscle ups, where Daisy was on the rings. Well, it didn't have to be like this, but one partner on the rings, one partner on the bar, and then calories on the bike erg and ski erg in between. I didn't think that this was going to be my favourite workout going in, but it definitely is my favourite workout now looking back, just because it was just like the most surreal experience ever. Like we went into it sort of not knowing how we'd go, because, you know, me and Daisy, like Daisy's a whiz at bar muscle ups, but she's been working heaps on her ring muscle ups, and then I'm not really like, neither are necessarily a strength for me. Like bar muscle ups, definitely not. They've been getting heaps better, and like ring muscle ups are sort of like similar. So we didn't know like going into it how we'd stack up compared to the other girls, because like a lot of them are really good at muscle ups. So we just went into it, stuck to our plan, and it, like from the very first round, we were like out ahead of everyone. Which
I think once you guys got off the machine, and then you had a bigger lead after the next machine.
It was wild, because like watching the individuals do it and watching everyone else do it, like nobody really had a lead until like everyone was like neck and neck until the back halves, because it was like 9, 7, 5, and then it was that back 7 and 9 that really like got people. But yeah, we literally had a lead from like the first bit, and I was just like skiing, and I could just hear like the commentators, Daisy and Hayley, Mayhem at the Walk, they're out in front, they're extending their lead. Like they were just talking about us the whole time because we were in the lead. And I was thinking to myself on the ski, I'm like, this feels exactly the same as practice. Like we've stuck to our plan. There's really no way that this is gonna like fall apart here. Like it doesn't make it, like it feels the exact same. We're not going that hard. And yeah, then we managed to win the event by like, I don't know, it was probably only like 15 or so seconds in the end, but because there was another team who they were doing like unbroken muscle ups, so they caught up to us a little bit on our last set, because we did like 3 sets and they did 1. But yeah, we won the event, and me and Daisy were just like stoked, and it was Saturday night, so the arena was like full, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, go to the Down Under live stream for Saturday night, and it'll be like at the very end, and you pretty much see them do the whole workout.
Luckily, that was one that has a good live stream. And there's also a really good reel on my Instagram that one of the videographers made for us like that night, and it just like portrays it all perfectly. Like it's the coolest video ever. I think me and Daisy both watched it like 30 times that night. It's a pretty cool video.
Yeah, no, it is.
So yeah, that was my favourite event.
Yeah, I bet. I can see why. All right, next question. Were there any athletes you enjoyed competing with, and if so, why?
Yeah, there was heaps. I enjoyed competing with all the girls, like actually, to be honest. Like it was such a good group of people. I think for me, like I really enjoyed competing with Christy and Bryony, who were their team name was Team True, and they're from Brisbane. And I think I mainly just enjoyed competing with them. 1, because they're like super lovely, and 2, because like it just was crazy, like actually getting to talk to them, because like I've sort of looked up to both of them for a while. So yeah, they were really cool to compete against and like just get to chat to. Like it was awesome. Like at the first event, Christy came up to me, she's like, "Oh, Hayley, like we haven't officially met." Like, and she's saying that she would like looked at my scores on Sugar Watt, and she was just super lovely. And then they were just both like super nice to me the whole time. So they were awesome. Julia and Charlotte, like they were pretty fun too to compete against. And then just all the girls, like it was a very good group of girls competing in the pairs. And yeah, I think we had the most fun. Like I think the individuals probably had a bit of fun, but not as much fun as the pairs.
Yeah, pairs is different.
Yeah,
if you don't do as good, you got someone to bounce off, and then when you are doing good, you get to share in that moment. So
and it was like super fun. Like after that that event on Saturday night, like we just like had a like big chat with Christy and Bryony, and it's just all surreal, to be honest. Like it was crazy, but they were awesome. It was also pretty cool being out there like with the boys a lot of the time too, because a fair few of the events, like when they could fit it, they would have boys and girls out at the same time. And in the men's, it was like in the first event, we literally it was crazy. I'm gonna blame our poor performance on this. It was too intimidating. No, not actually. But anyway, in the lanes, it was like Ricky and Enola Kai on one side, and then James and Khan on the other side, and we're like talking to Ricky and Enola Kai in the like marshalling area about how we're going to be touching fingers because the handstand push-up lines are too close, and it was just all like so surreal, to be honest. Like just
mixing it with the big dogs,
literally, and it's just crazy. It was seriously so crazy, but such a good experience.
Awesome. They looked like, particularly like, you know, because I saw bits and pieces of like Christy and Bryony, and yeah, they look super down to earth and really sort of welcoming.
And they're also just super experienced, like both of them. So they like helped me heaps in like the snatch event because Daisy was just like off doing her thing and I was like losing it. So they were like helping me in that, and they just sort of know how to be chill because they're so experienced. So yeah, they were cool to hang out with.
All right, next one. How were the athlete services?
They were pretty good. It's always really like awesome. Like obviously this is only my second comp that there have been athlete services at. I didn't really use them much at Torian because one, I didn't really know that they were there, and two, like the big dogs were like all in that room. So
you're not used to do it.
Scared.
You haven't done like until you start doing it, you realize, like finish your like especially certain workouts. Like finish your workout and go jump in the ice or go get your massage or Normatec, you know, like within that first 30, 60 minutes. And, you know, and you know if like, okay, if something's sore, like book in to go get it treated straight away rather than kind of. So once you start doing it, then you kind of.
Yeah, now that on the last day at Torian, I went to the athlete services and then I realised how good it was. So at Down Under, I utilised it a fair bit. It was good, but it probably wasn't as good as like what it was at Torian and at Down Under last year when Ben was there. It was like elite. Like they had all the massage and chiro. They had these awesome ice baths out on the deck. They had saunas, heaps of Normatec setups. Like it was like so good. And at Torian, like I think the main difference between Torian and Down Under this year was just the fact that Down Under, so they pretty much just had chiros and massage, like physios. They had a few Normatecs and like 2 like blow up ice baths on the balcony that weren't actually that cold.
I think we had about 8 ice baths that were freezing.
Yeah, like because the ones that you guys had like the covers and stuff, whereas these were just like plastic like blow up tubs. So like I got in that once, but it like wasn't that cold. The chiro and massage were awesome. Like I saw the chiro, his name's Andrew. His Instagram's Get Hubbed. He's so funny. He just like made
Hubbed like HUBBED.
Yeah, he runs like the athlete hubs. Like that's what his Instagram is. But he was hilarious and he would just like crack the shit out of me. Like it was actually wild. After the handstand push-ups, my neck was cooked. And he just like, I don't even know what he did. But anyway, I saw him every day. The only problem was the weights were like gnarly because there's so many people, because at Down Under, as I said, there's so many categories and like the intermediates are like teams of 3, there's heaps of pairs, there's like...
Everyone has access.
Yeah, everyone has access to it. And it's free, like you don't pay anything. So because there's so many people, like we would go and book in for a massage, they'd be like, all right, come back in an hour. And you know, you don't have that long between events. So that was kind of like not great. Whereas at Torian, like only the elites can get access to the hub. So then on the last day, there were only individuals. So it was super quick. But like still grateful, you know, they could have not been there, and it's all free. So I was happy to wait like for the chiro and that, and like often you just sort of sit there and chat to the people, and they make you laugh, and everyone's like super happy and friendly. So it was good. It was good. It would have been good if they had better ice baths, but yeah, whatever.
A few more Normatex.
Yeah, we only did the Normatex once because again you had to wait too long. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next question. Which event challenged you the most and why?
I would say the last event, which was the snatches, which I don't think it really challenged me physically the most, but mostly mentally, just because it like was just a bit hectic. Like it was meant to be, so basically they had to switch around the schedule for the events because of the rain. So instead of going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that's how they originally released the events. There was like 3 events on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. They made it Sunday first, and then Friday, and then Saturday. So the like events that were meant to be the final events were on the first day, and then those events that were meant to be like on Saturday night were the final events, which is like fine, but it meant that the max lift was the very last event, which already a max lift is like a high pressure event, and it's also an event that is, you know, it's not necessarily like, I don't want to say it's not effort based, because you do need to put in like your best effort, but like my best effort, I could have the best snatch day ever for me right now, and it still couldn't come close to like say Ben's worst effort, you know, like for example, Ben might, obviously he's a boy, but pretend you snatch similar to Julia Hannaford. If like he hits a day that he's only, you know, it's not feeling good, so he goes way lighter than he thinks, he's still going to beat me, you know? So it just kind of sucks that was the last event, and we went into it with like a 27-point lead, which I didn't know at the time. I chose not to like look to sort of see where we were at. And it just was like kind of sucky, because it was like no matter what we do, it was like unlikely that we'd, you know, keep our lead. You
don't have any idea of where everyone's at.
Yeah, exactly.
So like even if it was close, it's very difficult to sort of focus on yourself, try and see, and like the plates aren't all coloured. So like, you know, maybe you could have someone in the crowd trying to like tell you, but you know what I mean? Like it's not an event where you can try and chase someone down or get out in the lead.
And also it's an event
where...
where...
You've got to do what you can and see how it stacks up.
It's an event where people because there's 3 heats, and it was the event where people in the first and second heat can very easily be up there within the top numbers, because it's just a lift. Whereas in a lot of the other events, pretty much all the other events, other than maybe like the first one, because that was similar, it wasn't as much like fitness based, it was more skill based. You know, the top times are going to be in that top heat, so you can race against the people. Whereas in a lift, like you've got no idea what anyone's hit. Like there's people in the first heat who have snatched like heaps, and then there's people in the last heat who are snatching not quite as much. So it was just tough, and it was stressful going into it, because we were in the winning position and we had a pretty decent lead, but then we sort of knew that event was like not going to be anywhere near our best. So that was probably the most challenging. It was also really tough because in the warm-up they had 3 barbells for 16 girls, which was just like hectic. So it was basically you got 10 seconds on the empty bar, like few reps at 35, few reps at 45, then they're like 55, and I was like, can I have 50? And like it was just...
And
it was
most
chaos.
people are a bit more like edgy when it's a lift event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe some of those really experienced people who are confident in their lifting aren't too bad, but
I think the only
generally there's always a little bit more nerves in the room, as you know, across the board when it's like a max lift event, especially in the format that it was, and there wasn't much wiggle room to make errors.
No. And it was tough because they were like touch and go snatches, so you had to do like 5 touch and go without stepping out of the box, and then 3 and 1, so you were building up to these like different weights. I think the only person back there who wasn't stressed was Bryony. Everybody else was like not happy. So that was the most challenging. Other than that, like, I don't know, the rest of them were awesome. Like I was better than I thought we actually won another event other than that Ring Muscle Up one. We won a there was this one that was, you guys were meant to watch it in here, but it was 60-meter lunge into 60-meter handstand walk. And I was a little bit nervous about that one, just like going into Down Under, not necessarily before, but like going into it. I was probably the most nervous about that because a 60-meter handstand walk, like that kind of relied all on me because Daisy is like a really done handstand walker. So, you know, whether we did well or poor in that event, it wasn't like going to be a group effort. It was like on me. If I did well, we could do well. If I did poor, we could very, very well do poor, whereas Daisy was just going to smash it no matter what. So yeah, I like that one. I was pretty happy with how it went. So I was most nervous for it going in, but like it was, I was super happy.
Yeah, so I think you practice that one about 3 times roughly?
Yeah, I think we did it like 3, I think each time we practiced it, we did like more than 60 meters, but I just wanted to know that I was confident with it. Like, because I knew that I could handstand walk that much, but you know, it was a little bit on the line because you had to be able to do the 10-meter bits unbroken. So anyway, it was very cool. I wish you guys could have seen it. Like literally when I lunged to the end, there was nobody there. No girls, no boys. I was like, what is going on here? And then I lunged back and there was no one at the end either. It was like so sick. Anyway.
It was like more of a lunge workout than a handstand.
Well, I think it was. And the way we did it, like the fact, I guess I'm just a fast lunger. Like, I don't know.
You are a fast lunger. I've done lunge workouts with you.
Well, it paid off because I got to have like a decent amount of rest while I waited for Daisy. And then Daisy was also, because she was trying to keep up with me, she was also out in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
So it paid off. And we won it by like nearly 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah, right.
We were a decent amount ahead.
It's a short workout, so it's
it was like a 4-minute, I think we were like 4 minutes 40 or something. So pretty cool.
All right. Cool. Were there any moments that you can reflect on and draw on for personal or competitive growth?
Yeah, I think like definitely the snatch event, like drawing on that to sort of know, like to just stay calm a little bit. Like I know, I don't know. It's hard to sort of like say, it's definitely a lot to learn from it, but you know, in the future, like I'm sure I'll probably still be stressed when it comes to a lifting event like that. But just sort of knowing that you just need to do what you can do and not get too stressed about it, and that it's out of your control a little bit. Other than that, I don't know. We were pretty happy. Like we were very happy because we executed everything really well. Like except for the first workout, which actually that's one thing that I think I would sort of take for growth is in the first workout, which was Diane. So basically Daisy did 21, 18, 15 handstand deadlifts and handstand push-ups, and then I did 45 and 45 deadlifts and handstand push-ups. And we were like, we were kind of stressed about it because we didn't know who was going to do which part. But like I was pretty confident in my ability because we practiced it in the gym and I got through it quite like well. But then out on the floor, I think I got like 12 no reps on my handstand push-ups, which I was getting no reps for both my hands and my feet. And I think like my judge was she was pretty harsh. Like with my hands, she said to me at one point, she's like, no rep, your hands were nearly off the line. And I was like, nearly off the line? Like, bro, they're either on the line or they're not. But I don't think she was happy that I kind of had my hand like, I literally had the corner of my thumb like touching the thing. So with that, like I probably should have earlier on just been like, because I think I probably got maybe 3 or 4 for my hands. I should have just been like, put them way on the line, like even though it's not really ideal for my handstand push-up, like making them easy, but like at least a good rep is better than a no rep because I ended up doing like heaps more reps than I should have. So I think learning about that, like if you have a bit of a harsh judge, like overcorrecting, I got a lot of no reps too about my feet, but I was trying my darndest to correct that and I just have no sense.
And that's something you are aware of it.
Yeah,
and like
I know.
You work on it, but I think now you'll work on it with more intent.
Yeah, I need to just like, I think, I need to, because I do it and I think in my head that my feet are together. Ben's always telling me feet together, feet together. I'm like, they are, but then they're literally not. Like, it's so weird. But anyway, that's just something to like take back and work on in the gym.
Yeah. I think that was the only workout too where you guys like didn't have a very clear plan of what you would like first who was doing what, and then exactly how you were gonna approach it. And so,
which unfortunately,
I think that's like another thing too, where sometimes you've just got to go, you know what, you're not gonna necessarily know the perfect plan always, but at least if you go, this is what we're doing, and then you plan around that, it kind of helps you just kind of refocus and hone in. But and there's always going to be those moments in comps anyway.
Yeah, so. And it's a harder one to look back on because like we were just a little bit like lost in all aspects of it. Like we didn't have a good plan going into it. Neither of us had a very smooth run in the actual workout. Like Daisy wasn't very happy with the way she went either because she struggled with the standard. She was also like hitting her head on the wall, like, and getting her ponytail caught on the perspex, and like she was not happy. Mine was just a mess, and to be honest, that like kind of cost us the whole weekend. The workout, the very first workout, which it was easy at the time to be able to just like, we brushed it off and we had a really good run from there. But like looking back on the weekend, like we didn't perform nearly as well as we could have on that workout, and it definitely cost us. But what can you do? What can you do?
Cool. Next question. Sort of two parts. Was there a moment where you realised that you might actually win the whole thing? And if there was, what sort of went through your head at that point?
I don't think that there was really a moment, and I don't think this is a very good, like, I probably need to change my mindset now. Like Daisy's been telling me I need to change my mindset because I honestly didn't think that I never really thought that we would win because it just seemed too out of reach, which looking back now, I probably should have like had that sort of killer instinct being like, no, we're going to win. Like, but in my head, like all these other girls are just so much better than me. And like, yeah, Daisy's a CrossFit Games athlete, but I'm not. I'm just kind of like a wannabe CrossFitter is kind of what it feels like. So in my head, I was like,
please.
Well, I don't know. That's what it feels like. Like all these girls are just like you see them on Instagram and they're like been doing this for years and years, and it just seemed like too out of reach, which now I think after coming second, like it kind of puts it into perspective that it is a little bit more in reach. But yeah, I think I had a moment in the muscle up one that I was like, we might win this workout, which was like super surprising. Like when I was on the ski, I was like, we might actually win this. Like what the heck? Like it just straight away from there, I was like,
I definitely thought like when you won that event and you just come off going like third, second, first, or something.
We were like third, first.
Yeah. I'm like, they could definitely win because the next workout, I thought you guys would probably win that. Like you never, like you can't guess what everyone else is capable of. You don't know all the pairs and stuff. But like out of all the workouts, like if I was going to put money on them winning one,
we probably
it would
thought
have been the Sunday morning one.
Yeah.
The pairs they were kind of battling it out against, I knew that they weren't as strong at running overall. But to the winners' credit, they came
well
third, so they only came one place behind.
It's super frustrating.
There was a 40-second gap between them, but no other teams got in between, and that was.
I think it was longer than 40 seconds. It was close to a minute, I think.
Yeah, well, either way, like it's a long time.
It was close to a minute, and then
there could have been 3 or 4 teams.
The team finished, and then like 2 seconds later, another team finished, and then like 1 second later, another team finished. So they got like super lucky because it doesn't matter how like for us beating them by nearly a minute is the same amount of points that they get for beating another team by 2 seconds. Yeah.
So I mean that like for them that was where they won the comp, you know what I mean? And so in the end the last workout was it was like it was really hard to judge. In the end it was 6 points. It was like a couple of places off of winning on one event, and so overall though still an awesome effort. But yeah, that was the moment I thought you guys could actually win it, was this Saturday night. Cool, it's been a few days now, but how do you plan to reset and recover after such a big weekend?
Well, this week I've just been taking it pretty like easy, just doing like 1 session of training per day and just kind of like going with the flow, doing workouts that are fun and a bit of lifting. So it's been good fun. Like I've really enjoyed it this week. Like, just kind of picking and choosing, doing a few mayhem workouts, some of the mayhem lifting, class workouts, And this weekend, I'll just train in class tomorrow. Got a fun run on Sunday, so I don't know if that's resting and recovering, but I'm going to go run 10K around Warragul. Ben's like, that is definitely not recovering. But you got to do it for real.
Depends how slow you go.
No, I won't be going slow. Anyway, so yeah, and then next week I'll probably just get back into my training a little bit. But I feel good. I think this week I did a little bit better than I did after Torian, because I think after Torian I did take a bit of time off, but I was itching to get going. I was like, no, I want to do more. Whereas I'm just going with the flow. Me and Ben will practice one of the Ocean Grove workouts today, and we might do a bit of lifting, but just kind of do whatever he does and have fun. That's my main way to recover, is have fun and just enjoy the people in the gym. Because often when I'm doing more training, it's a little bit harder to socialize and actually get around the other people who are training, because I'm just a lot of the time tired.
One last question for you.
Yep.
And that is, would you recommend members potentially trying to get involved in Down Under next year? Because there's, intermediate teams, RX, there's different masters divisions, so potentially some could do the qualifiers and...
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it's a super cool comp for everyone to be a part of. I definitely think for our members, doing the qualifiers and having the chance, even just doing the qualifiers, one, is good practice and fun, because it's practice for the Open, the quarterfinals, you get to do the qualifiers with other people. So one, that's fun. And then if you do qualify, the comp is awesome because you are thrown in there, not necessarily competing against, but getting to be in the same facilities and areas as the best CrossFitters in Australia, New Zealand, and some international ones too. Even for me, I know, I'm a little bit in the scene now, but it was so cool just getting to be there with Amy Kringle. Daisy introduced me to her on the first day. And then every time I'd walk past her, she'd be like, oh, hey, Hayley, how you going? How was the event? Just chatting to me. And, Ricky Garard's there, getting massages, and, all of the elite CrossFitters are just all in this area, and you get to go and be there and sort of see how they, conduct themselves and what they're how they are around competition. You just get to learn so much from them.
And you get a taste for what it's like watching from... home on the screen, because you're on the same arena.
Yeah.
And there's, maybe not as big a crowd for all divisions as there is elite, but it's still a big stadium. You get the sense of all these eyes peering down on you.
Yeah. And you also,
cool.
It's cool because the comp has the outdoor, indoor arenas. So you get to do, quite a lot, larger scale and cooler workouts than you'd often see at, local comps. It's right on the beach, so you get a little beach holiday out of it. It's just really good fun. They have free YoPro, hopefully next year again. That's...
What's your favourite flavour?
I like the passion fruit and mango one. It's good. Yeah, or just
free
strawberry.
YoPro. Well, they had it last year too, and
it's good.
You just load up.
Me and Daisy were at the supermarket and we're like, oh, should we get yogurt? And then we remembered that they have free YoPro, so saved us money. But yeah, it's just really cool. It's a cool comp, and it's cool that you could have the opportunity to be a part of this massive comp and be there at the end when the presentations are on. They don't do the presentations for the masters and the intermediate teams in the morning. They do all of them at once. So you're down there on the floor with some of the best CrossFitters in the world.
They do a great job of making it very inclusive for...
Yeah, they also have adaptive
divisions,
so that was really cool to watch. We got to watch some of that and see the people who were in wheelchairs. They had these heavy skipping ropes. They it looked hard, and they were having to get over these blocks, and it was just cool. It's a great comp, and being there in person is just awesome. Last year, getting to be there to watch, being more of a spectator, was sick. I loved it. It was I probably liked it more being a competitor, but even being there just as a spectator was really quite cool.
You get to do a good amount of both, even if you are competing, because of the way they operate it and run it.
You probably get to do more than at Torian, because they have all the outdoor comps there too, but everything's on at the same time because there's basically always something going on in the arena. Whereas at Down Under, you can compete. They do it in a way that like you could compete and then still watch everything. Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool. So yeah, I definitely recommend. So next year we should get a crew going. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we can. Awesome. I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for all your insights.
No worries.
Hopefully there's some things you can all take away from Hayley's experience and carry into any kind of competition that you might be doing. So yeah.
Next up, Ocean Grove.
Yeah, we've got a big crew.
Team the Rebel Riders right here.
Yeah, we've got a big crew coming along for that, which would be cool. And that'll probably make it into one of our other podcasts, bit of a review of that. But thanks for watching. Again, if there's any topics you'd love us to cover, please reach out and let us know. And
yeah, thanks again for all the awesome support for Down Under. It was good and we love you. I love you. Ben probably does too.
I'll see you in the gym.
See ya!